But like, it sounded like to me like they were asking about divorce in general, and he was saying.
No, I gotta put another clip in here. Come on, bro.
Get like that one minute
but I'm asking
situation.
for anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay, endure.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you
what.
I don't. That's.
I'll tell you what.
Endure.
I'll tell you what I would do. If my daughter was in a relationship with a guy and she gets married to him and he starts abusing her a year into it, I'm gonna be showing up on their doorstep and teaching him some lessons.
Exactly.
That's what I would do. I also would not if I didn't have the capacity to do that for some reason, I don't know, I wouldn't want my daughter in that situation, quite frankly. And I understand the argument to endure, because I have people close to me who grew up in abusive households, and it lasted for periods of time, and it was a phase, and they endured through it, and they ended up raising healthy, successful families.
Man, I hope y'all having an amazing day today. We got a video that is very interesting. Pearl came on the Whatever podcast, and her and the host were, talking about the situation that they had a couple of days ago. And if you don't know exactly what that is, it's basically the situation where a guy came on to the podcast and he was like, endure if, if you are married and you or your partner are being abusive, you should endure in that relationship. You shouldn't divorce. And his entire argument was based off the premises that divorce should never happen, even if you're getting beat down. But as soon as they brought up cheating, they was quickly on that, and they say you should get a divorce if your significant other cheats. But they didn't have that same energy for physical abuse. But I digress. That's not what this video is about. This video is about reacting to what Pearl had to say about the situation, and how the host is trying to make it seem like this situation is something that it's not, but it is. Let's watch, bro.
You're from Tolu Alimi. Thank you. All right, this one's okay. Last show, a few panelists, when asked, well, I think it was one panelist, but when asked what advice they'd give.
I like how he says one panelist, trying his best to kind of stay away from this situation. But I mean, you are the host of the show. He didn't say anything in the little short clip, but there, the short clip did not take them out of context at all. But anyway,
give to women who are physically abused in relationships, said the partner should stay in the relationship and endure. Curious your takes, Brian and Pearl, and the rest of the panel too. Okay, yeah, this is like went crazy viral on Twitter and a couple other places.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah, first off, the short clip that Mel posted, I don't know if she had edited it or if it was somebody else, was like cut. It was pretty heavily cut up. MLD was saying that you should endure. I'm not even sure if he said I think he was talking about in general.
He was not talking in general, man. He was not talking in general at all. She asked a question clearly. Do we need to run it?
Answer on this one. If there's someone that's very, very young, might be really religious and values marriage a lot, and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're 18, 19, 20, and then a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive.
From who?
From both.
This is so rare.
Anyone
so
really.
Rare.
I mean, it happens.
Go on.
My point is, I'm just, even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
it is.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people to do? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce. I mean, that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be physically abusive.
You got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick in the
People
relationship.
are just.
look,
people
I'm gonna be
nowadays
honest.
are just.
I don't even like to put edits in, man. It's a lot of work. I ain't made it that far yet. I will one day, but damn, I don't even like to put edits in like that when I'm doing reactions, man. Let's keep going.
But because she threw in, well, what should you do in divorce? And then she threw in this other stuff about abuse. I mean, point blank period, my take is, if you're being abused, whether emotionally, physically, whatever it may be, but your question is physically abused, get out, end the relationship, get divorced, don't stay. However, they decided to crop in Chase, and then they cropped in Mary, and then John, and then they put, I didn't even say anything during that entire segment, and they put me in the segment, And then like people are thinking every single one of us, like they showed our face in the segment.
It's your show. It's your show, of course. They even they didn't put you in it. It still happened on your watch. You're the host of the show. You say a lot of things and other, you know what I'm saying, other clips. So of course they're gonna ask your opinions on it and associate to it. It's your show. Let's keep going.
That we co-signed on his endure statement, which is not true. If you're in an abusive relationship, like marriage, relationship, whatever, that's pretty justifiable, extremely justifiable reason to leave and get out. Go ahead, Pearl.
Yeah, when I watched the full clip, I was actually really surprised because I didn't really take it that that's what he meant. But when they cut it up like that, it just seemed like he said something he didn't say. But that's what a lot of these like reaction channels, and I'll say this as a
You gonna tell me that's not what you got from the full context of that video? So what you saying is that you agree with what he says? Not trying to put words in your mouth, but you say you watched the full thing and that's not what you got from that situation. But I don't know. All I'm saying is anybody who, if you can watch that entire podcast, I'm talking about that however long it is, 5-6 hours, you can watch that entire podcast, you're gonna get the same result. I didn't watch the entire podcast, but I watched a good 30 minutes. I watched the entire, when they started the question to when they ended and switched gears, I watched the whole thing. And the clip that they talking about, the little short, was 100% on point. 100.
As a content creator, like a lot of the reaction channels will take clips to like put you out of context and like say.
Yep.
I hate this out of context thing. Anytime a clip is brought up, like Pearl say that all the time. Like her channel ain't a reaction channel too, low key. I'm just saying. Things
that you didn't say, and kind of like it's really dishonest, honestly.
It's just in podcast
and
format.
Mel, Destiny's.
It's a reaction channel.
It was her clip that she made, which
who is that dude in the back? I don't know why they like caught my
I
attention.
think is pretty disingenuous because if you watch the whole thing, I think MLD got a little like he was fucking 7 White Claws deep too. Look, if he, I'm not going to co-sign what he said.
Not the TV static.
Disavow, but like it sounded like to me like they were asking about divorce in general, and he was saying.
No, I gotta put another clip in here. Come on, bro.
Get like that one minute
but I'm asking
situation.
for anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
endure.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Endure.
I'll tell you what.
Endure.
I'll tell you what I would do. Mm-hmm. If my daughter was in a relationship with a guy and she gets married to him and he starts abusing her a year into it, I'm gonna be showing up on their doorstep and teaching him some lessons.
Exactly.
That's what I would do. I also would not if I didn't have the capacity to do that for some reason, I don't know, I wouldn't want my daughter in that situation, quite frankly. And I understand the argument to endure because I have people close to me who grew up in abusive households and it lasted for periods of time and it was a phase and they endured through it and they ended up raising healthy, successful families.
He knew exactly. It's crazy how they trying to switch it up. He trying to help him as much as he can, but it ain't no helping him right now, my God. And then he got pending charges too. You can get out of some words on the internet sometimes. You can say some stuff you didn't mean. Like, man, getting on podcasts, like getting on the podcast and talking, I believe, a very hard thing, and it's not for the weak. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't know if I ever reached that point. I just started doing the YouTube reaction videos. I might make it that you know what I'm saying, to that echelon of my career at some point, but right now, no. But come on, dog. Come on. What Boosie said? Come on, man. Come on,
endure. And then like somewhere through that, she brings up physical abuse. And so...
Well, and so I kind of look at this question a little differently because my question is like, what is the abusive situation? And I need specifics. And like the reason I need specifics is women cry abuse for everything, and we've actually lost the meaning of abuse. Like if you go to, and I know this because I'm doing a divorce documentary. And so I'm actually interviewing men that are in the process of getting like absolutely wrecked by divorce. And a lot of them have had false allegations put out against them. And a lot of those, basically what the feminists do is they expand the definition of abuse to include things like coercive control, financial abuse, and even physical abuse. A lot of times, like girls don't talk about how they hit first. And most abusive situations are mutually abusive, meaning they're both hitting each other. And so a lot of times,
That's what she asked in the extended version of the clip. I know you watched it. You say you watched
what
it.
girls will do.
She talked
is they'll
about
say,
both.
oh, I'm being abused, but they don't talk about how she hit him first. Like I had a girl on the show say I was physically abused. And I used to just believe women. Like I would always just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But then you start asking questions. And it baffles me how women like turn the situation of them like being abused when they aren't. Like this one girl, she came on my show, she said I was physically abused. I said, okay, tell me the situation. What exactly happened? She refused to leave his house. She refused. So she's trespassing on his property, saying I'm not gonna leave, and he pushes her out of the house.
That's an entirely different combo. She changed the entire like subject like real quick. It's interesting how like when you watch podcasts or you watch anything, it don't even have to be podcasts. It could be anything. When you're watching something and somebody's talking and they ask a good question, like the person who sent the super chat asked a fantastic question. Like, what are y'all takes on this? And instead of like genuinely trying to help those women on the podcast know what to do if their spouse is abusing them, instead of trying to help them genuinely learn something, you gotta excuse the country, baby, I'm country. But anyway, instead of helping them, she flips the question. I don't hear any advice. Changed the whole thing to something that is not. Did not really answer the question at all because it doesn't fit what her content promotes all the time. And what she's saying, like, some of it is valid. Like, I feel like the court systems and marriage and stuff, all that stuff is messed up, bro. We can't agree on that. And because I can agree with that, I also can disagree with the fact that you should stay in an abusive relationship. It's not this, like, anytime the other side of who you arguing with brings up a great point, instead of trying to be like, okay, I can see that, it's more like, no, I'm gonna change the entire subject so my point is not any less valid. Like, I don't get it, but that's how it is nowadays. That's how it is. Everybody wants to be right. You know, nobody wants to actually make sense. If it fits a narrative that they want, they'll run with it. It is what it is, I guess. But I'm glad most people, like, I was in like a lot of comment sections, like watching other people react to different things and different topics on like this, like different topics, different versions of this, people speaking about it. And a lot of people had the same like answers, like, this is wrong. And I'm glad to see that we didn't see any like sometimes somebody's favorite creator could say something and they'll run with it even if it clearly shows that they're wrong. Like, and me, I'm going through my YouTube journey. At some point in time, I'm gonna say something that I may like want to take back, or I might mess up, I might get a fact wrong, I might get something wrong in. It's not gonna be beneath me to get up on this, like I'm talking to y'all now. It's not gonna be beneath me to get on this microphone and be like, look, I messed up. What I said wasn't right. I might have messed something here. My bad. It's so hard for people to say my bad nowadays, even though this situation ain't like a my bad situation. Cause I think he meant it and he still believe it to this day. He ain't sorry for nothing. I kind of believe it. I seen some stuff. I was like, bro, he's still doubling down almost. But anyway, that's beside the point. Cause sometimes you can say something and in your mind, it may sound different than how you can say it. Like, you may want to explain it a certain way, but I don't think that's what we dealing with here. We dealing with some crazy stuff. But anyways, man, let me know what y'all think about this situation, bro. Cause I don't think she's really gonna say anything else that's important. I was listening after that, and I was like, I just wanna talk about like how she really didn't answer the super chat at all. She flipped it and started talking about something else. I'm like, you watched the whole clip. Like, I feel like it was a great question. Bad answers. Like, comment, subscribe, man. I'm out.